say that a woman is anyone who chooses to identify as such.
I think especially when we're in a day and age where womanness doesn't stem from like what gender you're assigned at birth, I think to be a woman has a lot more to do with the personal strength that you find in yourself.
I think womanhood is definitely beyond genitalia and this binary cisgender concept of womanhood where being woman is directly correlated with having a vagina and whatever we call female structures.
I guess you just don't. I mean, you can identify as a woman when you have male genitalia, but I guess it's kind of what you make of it.
There are certain characteristics that I think we stereotypically define as womanhood, like, for example, the way we dress. You know, if we dress more feminine, or wear makeup, or wear our hair a certain way. So, and for me, stereotypically, those have always been the identifying factors of womanhood.
That what it means to be a woman is not static. Just as early feminists argued that reducing women to their biological functions was a foundation of women's oppression, we acknowledge that gender identity is not reducible to the body, and we are mindful that exclusion from the category of woman based on contingent properties of birth is nothing new. Our new policy formally welcomes applications from any qualified student who is female or who identifies as a woman.
So I remember when we were sitting in convocation and when Pascarella announced the new transgender policy and she explained what this meant, I remember feeling really warm and really happy because Mount Holyoke was finally being all-inclusive. We always talk about how we want to include people in our community and how all activities should be all-inclusive and how everyone should be given a voice. And with this new policy, I think this just completely made me feel so proud of to be a part of Mount Holyoke.
It's easy to forget that being inclusive does not mean being favorable towards just one community. There are a lot of students, a lot of different communities who call this campus their home. And in thinking about women who would like to be in this place, you can forget about the women who are already in this space.
I had an incident in the bathroom where I came out and I saw a guy in the bathroom and I was very shocked. Like, I was scared because I was like, I'm in the wrong place. I need to get out. But I was thinking, before I came in, I was kind of like going through like a flashback. And before I came in, I made sure it was women. It said women.
I think that coming to this college, we are open-minded people, and we are aware of, you know, gender equality and you know, gender identity and what defines people as a woman and what people do not identify as being a woman. However, I think that for people who come to this college with, you know, people who have strong religious views, people who have strong ideas about what being a woman is and what being a woman isn't, I think that for them it's a little bit disconcerting to have this policy in place because they came to this college with certain expectations, and I think that the fact that those expectations are changing is a little bit hard for them, and I do sympathize with them.
Initially, I didn't understand what it meant because I tried to get my head around it, but as somebody who has very less knowledge of gender queer terms prior to coming to this college, it was difficult for me to understand, and I think a lot of people relate to this because a lot of people do not have a very deep understanding of what it was.
I'm excited to have trans women on campus, not only to learn from them, but I hope that I can help them in some way and just help the way that we help everybody in the community already. But I think it'll be a good way for all of us here to really grow stronger and more diverse as a community.
I consider myself a very avid supporter of the new trans-inclusive admissions policy, but I find the particular lack of spaces to have sort of mediated discussions about this very disturbing, especially because this policy goes into effect relatively soon, as in fall of 2015. And any sort of initiation of discussion about this trans policy has definitely been very polarized, I think, where the people who support it are all the way to one side, and the people who don't are all the way to the other side.
The new transgender policy does not contradict my worldview. I believe that we are in the world that needs more human understanding and more human bond, and creating those spaces and communities where we can be ourselves and where we can feel that we are among other human beings. Because at times I feel so rushed, I feel so stressed, I feel so misunderstood just because there is no time to talk to people. There is no time to ask and answer questions.
One of Mount Holyoke's most significant strengths is the diversity of our community. And we don't expect that everyone is going to agree with this policy or even understand the policy. We've encouraged students, faculty, staff, alumni who have questions or concerns to come forward, and we want to create a safe space for those questions and concerns to be voiced. We're particularly sensitive to the challenges around our commitment to diversity of all sorts. We have a diverse religious community. We have individuals who are secular and yet have political views. For instance, radical feminists who believe that anybody who has lived life as a biological male has a male privilege that attaches to that. And we also have conservatives who are politically opposed to people who are living a trans lifestyle. So how do we as a community respect all of those values, provide accommodation for these diverse views? We live in a society that is committed to tolerance and pluralism and diversity. Our campus is a microcosm of the broader world in which all of these issues are brought to bear, but we are committed as an administration. I know we're committed as a student body and as a group of faculty and staff to making sure that everyone feels that they are safe and included in this environment.